As a child, I was a very impressionable child. I believed in mysticism. I loved scary stories. But over time, it all began to slowly dissipate, and there was no trace of faith in ghosts and witches until I was 18 years old. This story happened last year, on the eve of my 18th birthday. I went to bed early, but I couldn't sleep because of the anticipation of the upcoming holiday. The thoughts in his head changed one after another. The smile did not slip, and his heart fluttered like a hummingbird. Anyway, I didn't want to sleep at all. I got out of bed and pulled on a terry cloth robe, heading for the kitchen, turning on the light and putting the kettle on. I took a cigarette out of my mother's pack and climbed out the window so that the smell of tobacco would not spread into the apartment and let my mother know that I was back to my old ways. The cold autumn air, coupled with tobacco smoke, burned my lungs, but I didn't care. I looked up at the sky, taking steps one by one. And at the moment, when I was taking a drag for the last time, my gaze went to the figure located in the windows of the neighboring house. And it would seem nothing, if not for the fact that the figure was outside, not inside. I knew who lived in that apartment, but I had no idea who was outside. At first, I thought it was just shadows playing tricks on me, but when I looked closer, I realized it was a human figure. I stared at the figure without looking away and stretched only when the figure turned in my direction and began to move slowly. I slammed the window shut and ran to my room. I collapsed onto the bed and pulled the covers over my head. A wild screech rang through me. As it seemed to me, the sound was somewhere nearby, but surely people couldn't ignore it. There was a knock on the window. My heart stopped for a second. My breathing stopped, and tears involuntarily ran from my eyes. And another knock. More, and more. It grew, and in an instant it simply subsided. The only sound was the rustle of fallen leaves in the wind. I couldn't sleep a wink until morning, wondering if it would come back again. My birthday was disgusting, because apart from sleeping in the cinema, my whole day was filled with thoughts about that creature. I went to bed and didn't notice how I passed out. I woke up to a possessive squeal. When I noticed that there was no light in the room, I began to cry. This creature is here again, and I do not know what it wants. I dared to look out the window. I saw terribly ugly facial features that could be seen from behind a nearby flashlight, but it was not the face of a monster. On the contrary, it was a young girl. She was smiling, and if I were a writer, I'd say she was looking right into my soul. I unconsciously got up from the bed and went to the window. The girl smiled and pointed to the window. As if consumed by euphoria, I reached for the handle on the window, but as if scalded, I pulled my hand back and tried to pull back. At that moment, the girl's face seemed to go berserk and, grinning, she hit the window with such force that it had to break. She came to see me for a few more days, but I didn't stick my head out. Why did I remember this story? It's almost autumn and my birthday is coming very soon, and I am very afraid that she will come back.